Well, good morning. It's great to see you, and welcome back to the shop where once again it is my favorite day of the week. That's right, it is Trash Day Tuesday. Now, I've skipped a couple of weeks because I had some things to do, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't picking stuff up that I drove by on the side of the road. I did pick up this trouble light last week, plugged it in, and what do you know? It works just fine. It's got a nice retractable cord to it, so that was a real nice find. I'm going to be able to use that for sure. I also found this this telescope. Now, I don't have much use for a telescope. This one's broken. The lenses are gone. But, there's lots of good gizmos and gadgets on this thing. Some gears and some tiny screws and some nuts and some fittings. I'll fill up my bin with some of these things, and then I'll put this in the trash on the curb outside of my house. But it was also attached to this, really nice looking tripod, and I'm sure I can find a use for that. If not, again, lots of nice fittings and stuff like that. So that was last week. Picked that up. Let's get going on this week and see what we can find. Well, we are out here early this morning. What do we got here? Oh, look at that. Looks like something you'd use to slide your bike wheels in and kind of line them up, maybe in the back deck or back porch or back of the driveway. That's kind of neat. What do we have here? Some kind of metal fire pit and the base to an umbrella stand or something like that. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know if you ever watched the guy, but he finds some interesting stuff. Taco Stacks, who goes around and picks up stuff off the curb. He would grab that all day long. He'd stick that in his van. He'd probably get a pretty good buck for that just because of the weight. But I don't do that kind of stuff, so I just try to find stuff I can fix and use myself, and I don't have any use for that and would have no idea what to do with it. But Taco Stacks, here's a shout out to you. Wish you were here and could grab that. It looks like the metal part to an umbrella or something like that. A metal trellis. Some wood. Well, I found some pretty cool stuff in front of this house. Some pretty useful stuff. Where this looks kind of cool. Maybe just something that somebody outgrew and they've got no use for it anymore. Be kind of fun. I've got a couple young nephews that probably could use that. Be kind of fun. I don't know. Power wheels. What is this? Some kind of battery. I don't know. Doesn't look like it has all the pieces parts. Sure enough, I found this online. Looked like it was missing the whole front end. Well, there's a lamp. Certainly nothing wrong with that. Maybe a little bit of the base needs to be fixed, but that's definitely fixable. Yeah, we can deal with that. I'm gonna take it out with me. Well, there's another hose caddy. Picked one up last week, but again, don't really have a use for too many of those. Sometimes these break, but that one looks pretty good. I'm going to take this hose. These hoses with the two female ends on them are sometimes hard to find. But that's interesting. That looks brand new. Maybe this mechanism here is broken. I don't know. Well, another little desk waiting to be refurbished. A little sandpaper and some paint, and that would make a nice little, side desk for someone. I don't know, folks. Sometimes you look back and you think to yourself, maybe I missed an opportunity. Leave me a comment and let me know if this is the kind of project you'd like to see me working. Probably take more than a paint job to fix those up, so we'll pass on that. Some exercise bicycles for the kids. Okay. Well, another hose caddy. Seems to be the day for hose caddies. What the heck is this? A privacy screen? Perfectly good. Nothing wrong with that. I wish I had some kind of use for that, but I just don't. Smells kind of funny. There's some old bed rails. Good scrap metal. Look at this. An old sewing machine table. Look at that. That is something, huh? They put that, take that to a flea market and sell that for something, but it's all manual. That is really something else. White Family Pottery. Rotary. White Family Rotary. Interesting. Huh. Speaking of missed opportunities, yeah, I left it on the curb. Looks like somebody renovating a kitchen. There's certainly some cabinet bases. Putting something in your workshop, you could use that. An old dishwasher. A shop vac. Probably nothing wrong with it, but I've got a shop vac, so I'm going to leave that be. Let somebody else pick that up. But there's a motor in there, at least. Somebody could salvage that. You know, I think I'm going to change my mind on that. I think I'm going to grab that. Like an old desk or something. Seen better days, but it certainly could be cleaned up. And a nice little table. Probably could use that on my back deck for something. I got no use for that desk, but boy, somebody looking for a desk. A little keyboard slot there for it. That certainly could be cleaned up. Wow, look at that. That's a whole sectional sofa. That would definitely take over. There's some bugs there. Got some stains on it, but you know. Well, another lawnmower. Last one I sold for 50 bucks. It looks like this has the same issue with perhaps the recoil. But we'll put it in the car. We'll take it home. We'll see what's going on with it. And maybe we can sell this one too. Okay, we're back here at the shop after all that. There was some pretty interesting stuff here today. How about that sewing machine, huh? That was something else. That was heavy. And I try to grab stuff again that I can use. Although I did grab this lawnmower and this shop vac. I've got a lawnmower, I've got a shop vac. Heck, I've got a lamp. But these are the three things that I picked up today. This lamp was an easy pickup. It looks like the weight in the base had sort of cracked and fallen apart, but you know, I plugged it in and you know, it works just fine. And like I said, I've got lamps, but hey, a guy can always use another lamp, right? Another nice reading lamp, nice soft glow. So, you know, probably shine it up a little bit, maybe give it a paint job. I don't know, we'll see. But you know, this is a typical lamp that you're gonna pick up at a big box store for $15 or $20, and it's nice enough. So we've got that. Turn this back off, and then this shop vac. Now I saw one just like this a couple weeks ago, and I passed it up, and I've been thinking about it ever since, thinking maybe I should have grabbed it because it is a wet dry shop vac, and that's only a dry shop vac. Let's plug this in and see what we get. Here we go. Well, it works. But the suction doesn't seem to be very good. The suction doesn't seem to be very good at all. There could be something stuck in the hose there. So we'll have to get in there and see what's going on. Push those out. Yeah. I guess the first thing I do is I check that filter out. It's probably clogging things up pretty good. And then I'll check the outlet. That seems to be fine. But we'll get in there and take a look at that. And then finally we'll turn our attention to this lawnmower and see how that works. I give it a quick pull here, see if it's got some compression. And it seems to, yeah. But we'll get into that. So I don't think there's a whole lot to do with that lamp. We're just going to get that out of the way and get working on that shop vac. There we go. All right, we got that filter cleaned up. At least you can see daylight through it now a little bit. It really needs a new filter, but I don't want to spend money on a new filter if there's something wrong, you know, internally with the power of the engine or power of the motor. Although it sounds powerful, it's still not doing much in the way of picking things up. And, you know, it seems to me I've been here before. And although I've kind of gone through this hose, just seeing if there's anything plugging it up, it doesn't seem like there is. I'm going to take it apart. I can't get this piece off. This doesn't want to come off, but I think I can get this piece off. And I don't know if you can see that, but that doesn't surprise me. I'll bet you when we take that out, that's all that's wrong with this, that this thing is plugged up and the suction's just not coming through. It is really plugged up. Yeah, that's going to be the problem. There's your problem right there. Wood shavings and cat hair. I am confident that that is the issue. All right. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more suction. Look at that. All right, well, it looks like we've got ourselves a working wet, dry shop vac. We're going to slide this over in the corner and turn our attention to, you know, this lawnmower. I noticed that the air filter box is missing, which I guess makes things a little easier for us. I'm going to spray a little starting fluid in there and give it a yank and see if we can't get it to turn over. And if it doesn't, then we'll do the old check for spark, all that stuff. But let's give this a shot real quick. All right. Yeah. Well, it seems as if we've got ourselves a runner. Check the gas situation here. Yeah, it's dry as a bone in there, so I'm going to put a little gas in. Not much, just to see if we can't keep it running. How about that? 2 pulls, and it starts right up. Sitting on the curb, waiting for somebody to take it out to the trash. All right, let me get some gas. Well, I got 2 gas cans that usually carry straight gas, and that's what this takes. And, yeah, both of them are empty, so I guess I have a trip to the gas station in my near future. Excellent. If you can read that or not, 252.9 a gallon. Gotta love that. All right, we're back. We'll see if this thing can't keep running with a little bit of gas in the tank. That's all I need. I need just a little bit of gas in the tank. Keep me going. Yeah, there it goes, huh? I don't know if you could hear me there. So this looks like it's got 2 speeds, fast and slow, got 2 gears, and then this is the throttle. So that's the engine speed. This is the wheel speed. It's a self-propelled mower. In the center here, this is just neutral. It's not going anywhere. And that is activated by this lever here. This is you got to have this down in order for the blade to move and for the for the engine to move and start it up. So we're going to go give this a shot here in the yard, see how it cuts. Here we go. Well, okay, it cuts like a champ. So it looks like we're 3 for 3 on our Tuesday Trash Day treasure finds for this week. We got a working lamp that we can use. We've got a wet dry vac that we didn't have before that does a great job. And we've got this lawnmower, which, you know, admittedly isn't top notch, but it'll do in a pinch. Now, as I said in a previous video, when I fixed one and got rid of it, I already have 2 lawnmowers and a riding mower, so I don't need this. And by the way, that last video where I fixed that Toro, I did go back to the homeowner and offered that back to them after I'd fixed it. And they basically said, no, we're going to get a new one. So I put it up on the local Facebook marketplace, and somebody picked it up for $50. I'm going to do the same with this. Probably not going to ask a whole lot for it. You have to ask something, because if you ask nothing, if you're trying to give it away or give it away for, a nominal amount like $10 or so, I think people feel like, well, it must be a piece of junk. This actually works, but it's missing a couple of pieces. It's got a knob that's missing here. I'll see if I can't find something to replace that with. So I think, again, for somebody who's in the market for, for a working lawnmower for whatever reason, this has some value, but I'm not going to ask a whole lot, $25, $30. And I'm certainly going to be willing to negotiate that down, because I don't want it hanging out here. But that's going to do it for this week's Tuesday Trash Day Treasure Find, folks. I hope you found it enjoyable. Hope you found it entertaining. Glad that you could join me for this. Certainly leave us a comment. Give us a like. We'd love it if you could subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.